distracted.
I've been doing a lot of strutting over the ship.
Funny thing, you guys are not on the ship anymore. And I'll use that to segue very naturally into a request for a recap of the last couple of sessions with our hirelings. Basically, how did we leave the ship? How did that kind of resolve? The removal of kneecaps was involved. I remember that. And some interesting information that you guys recall, and or pertinent information that you feel would inform Captain Swells on our current situation.
Really sucks when I don't have notes to fall back onto for recaps.
I think what you missed, because you missed, what, a couple of sessions, didn't you?
Last two.
Yeah, the last two.
I think essentially we finished off the ship, and we stole the orb and got the password through some, well, torture. It was torture.
Mm-hmm.
And then we opened up the orb, which was essentially a portal-ish, and we got to the top of some trees, and there were some eagles, and Leo druided himself past them, talked us past the eagles. We flew down inside of a big tree and encountered illusion of a green dragon at first, and then a green dragon. And he poisoned us and fucked us up a bit, but he died. And he had...
I would expect nothing less from y'all.
He had like half a horde up here. Or, no, we're down here now, but he had half a horde, and that's probably in the notes somewhere. There's quite a bit of coinage. And a few magic items. And then there was a big old skull and a staircase down, or a hole down. And we disarmed a trap and got a big old gem out of the... It was a big old emerald out of the eye. It's like, what, the size of a torso?
Yeah, it's massive.
God damn.
And if you failed to disintegrate, would have been casted on the person.
And there were two of them, but I didn't want to press my luck with another disintegrate there, so we got one of those, and then I think we went down the hole, and here we are. And we caught a level after the dragon, and we took a long rest.
Minor notes: the torture was where the removal of kneecaps happened, and the reason why we bypassed the eagles via diplomacy was because Leo was not fond of our method of gaining the password from the gem, which is the password we needed to activate said portal to where we are now.
Okay, fair.
Botan and Irish Stave are now best friends.
Where did Steve even come from? I still don't know.
He's the guy behind me. And I'll just thumb a finger towards Glade.
Because, yeah, now a changeling who you do not recognize.
No, I'm gonna still say it's Steve.
I'm just kind of, hello.
Oh yeah, it's that guy.
Yeah, I can be Pirate Steve. You also know me as Madame Rouge, if that's a little bit more pleasant to talk to. But primarily I'm Glade, so I go by all
Madame
names.
Rouge is a fine lady.
Why, thank you. I would quite agree. I hope so. I made her. I mean, technically, I am her, but yes.
He just kind of nods along, looks dumb at you for a second when you said you M her and just goes along with it. He's just too stupid. He's never gonna get it.
That's why Botan thinks he's still Pirate Steve.
Jimmy and Botan share one brain cell, and they lost it like a couple weeks ago.
This is the first time in like months the two brain cells have come together, reunited.
Okay, so we're still in the Dragon's Keep with half a horde, right? Or under it.
We went inside the skull, which was like a tunnel, I think.
Hey, you know what? I can bring you guys to the previous map to give you sort of a better visual.
And then we killed the dragon, and it opened up its horde. And then we walked back into the horde. Oh yeah, Leo collected plants. And then we walked back into the horde, which was this room down here, where if you see to the south, there's a giant skull. That's where we got the gems from. And the skull opened, and we went inside the hole.
Yeah, the mouth revealed a tunnel.
Yeah.
And the dragon fight was actually down the center of a big old tree, and we don't know how deep we went. So
Oh,
we
yeah.
went further and further down.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah, we are deep, and we're essentially journeying to the center of the earth. Except with the lack of Brendan Fraser.
It's always a shame when there's a lack of a Brendan Fraser.
No, we seen the Jews. No, that was Encino Man, kind of.
God, Encino Man. Oh, like it was like that's familiar, but I don't remember where it's from. And then you said Encino Man, and immediately my brain went to it. That movie's underrated. Some of Pauly Shore's best work.
That's pretty much it. Leo did druid things and collected herbs that we don't know what they do. Someone's haunted.
Oh yes. Yeah. Glade has a haunted something.
That's also
Name.
what we did. We harvested the dragon and got 30 pounds of dragon hide, 65 pounds of bones, and we attempted to harvest the lungs, the poison dragon lungs, but one of them popped and then haunted Glade, and now we have the other one. And with Grunt on our side, he could possibly do some stuff with the bones and the hide and the gland.
So he's haunted by a dragon's gland?
I think the correct term is more hallucinating, but we're calling it haunted because the spirit of the dragon we just killed is now coming up as hallucinogens / voice / ghosty hauntedness over Glade.
Oh, cool. That's gonna be really funny when I use draconic summons.
I think it's hallucinating, but it's acting as if he was haunted.
Nah, I get what you're saying. I think that's hilarious.
Now I think he's got it.
Oh, very good. I'm pretty sure everybody contributed to that, with the exception of Jax, obviously. or with Jimmy, but that's for self-evident reasons. So I think I'll start everybody off with an inspiration if you didn't already have one today.
Thank you for the inspiration.
Which I suppose leads us into our next question. What would we like to be doing in character? You
Starting
can.
fights.
Oh, sorry.
I want to start a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Too much talking, not enough fighting.
Just tell me what to thunderbolt.
On the door.
Shocking grasp.
I would like to stealth quietly and make my way down this corridor.
Those are rookie numbers.
19.
Mhm.
Let me explain. So you guys are down a tunnel, and the tunnel does have vegetation, and you found a sort of internal temple. Glade, what you were exploring is sort of like the outside of it.
Mm.
You do eventually come across what looks like natural, like sort of stone walls. Like the temple has been built out of the earth.
Okay.
To give a refresher, what you guys have been looking at. Traveling down the short cave, perhaps more of a path or carved out tunnel from the looks of things. You don't it's rather nondescript, it's still packed natural earth, but there is a intent to it. You do not think that this is a tunnel that was created just due to like natural like sediment or erosion or water paths. Um, um, so for those of you who are more magically inclined, you are sort of the opinion that perhaps magic was used to sort of like form the earth leading down here. And when you get to the bottom, you find a ancient looking structure. This is the building that the four of you are, with the exception of Glade, who is peeking around it. This is the structure that you are currently in front of. The door is open. It has sort of like a Corinthian or ancient Grecian sort of aesthetic to it. There's a lot of like carved stone and marble, and there are reliefs of like on either side of the door. There's sort of like these like crescent steps that lead up to the temple door. There are these reliefs of a woman, but her head is a skull. Beyond that, she is carved rather flatteringly in the stone. With a body that is very like contemporarily attractive, and like elven, like very like long and slender, and like tapered at the waist and in sort of like this. You're not sure if it's a dress or a long cloth, but there's sort of that like almost like an angelic or like artistically pure sort of like resonant idea, like her otherwise nudity is covered up tastefully and like simply, right? But not without detracting from her otherwise attractiveness. She does, in each of the reliefs, have a pair of wings, but they are fingered and webbed like a bat or dragons in nature. And she is depicted in, you think it's flight, but if any of you is proficient, then you can make a performance or history check.
History or performance, you said?
Correct.
Not bad.
Okay. Based upon so Glade, you might not be much of a historian. You might not be much of a anthropologist or a biologist, but you do have an eye for art. The way this woman is depicted, the way her hair is flowing and her wings are positioned, how she's reaching up, you think that she is actually, even though like the reliefs are like, because she's carved on the wall, she's like twice the size of any of you in each of her depictions, but she's like sort of like reaching up, which sort of suggests to you that she is descending, right? Like she is falling and reaching upwards. In addition, when all of you get close, and that's nothing to do with the reliefs on the marble wall anymore, but when you get close, there's definitely the smell. Jimmy, you catch it first. There is the smell of fresh blood, and all four of you pick it up. Jimmy, you are the only one who detects that there is something not quite right about it. And I'll need an Arcana check or a Nature check from you.
It's O negative.
Jamie, are we still there? Jax! Return!
Muted? Question mark.
Hopefully you're not muted, Jack, but let us know if you're still around. I'm gonna put a couple of Galifars on more than likely baby stuff. That's where my money's on. So Jimmy's going to be a bit out of it, just sort of like the smell of blood is sort of hitting his dumb pure senses, and he's sort of like, whoa. As Votan and hello?
Yeah, just the usual 8:26.
Oh yes. Oh, I should have looked at the clock. Jimmy, you can smell, like, all four of you smell fresh blood inside, a large amount of it. Jimmy, you're the only one that can tell that it smells not quite right. I need an Arcana check or a Nature check from you. And while you're rolling that, Botan and Grunt, as you approach the door, you can confirm that when you open it, there is a pool, like, immediately, that is full of blood. Like, there is no place to step around. Like, in order to progress, you will need to wade through it.
Oh, a pool.
Yes.
I was thinking like a puddle.
Nope. Jimmy, your nature roll informs you that it's a lot of blood, and there's something not quite right with it. You don't think it's bad, right? But it's not normal. That also, like, by that same logic, it's not necessarily good either. Sorry?
I take a little nip.
So yeah, okay, so you kneel down at the door as Botan hops into the blood pool.
Gonna Solid Snake Metal Gear style this.
Yeah, it comes up to your waist. And Jimmy, you kneel down and you take a little bit. It tastes good. And it does taste fresh? Like, it's not coagulated, it's not anything like that, but it's sort of it hasn't been in a body for a long time, is sort of what your instincts are telling you. Which obviously defies some of the laws of nature with it still being as liquid as it is.
I wish I knew how to keep blood this fresh outside of a body.
Mm-hmm.
Is there supposed to be this weird triangle of darkness once we're inside?
There is.
Okay.
Except when you do step inside, a number of lights
Oh, there we go.
seemingly awaken as if in response to you.
Blood for the blood god.
Skulls for the skull throne.
And you see in the center of the room, it is like a large temple-like room, right? It feels like a church or place of supplication in a lot of ways. There are 4 large candles, 2 of them on either side of you, and beneath them are these like more like stone codex reliefs, and they all seem to be depicting like other scenes. The 2 braziers are different. The 2 braziers at the back do not seem to be depicting anything, but there is like an altar as well. And coming up out of the pool is this large ebony hand that is sort of like the wrist is coming up out of the pool, and you'd have to kind of climb up onto it, but it's sort of like the palm is sort of like a little over 5 by 5, and the fingers are sort of like splayed out in kind of like a claw like shape. But the hand looks human.
And each of the fingers is another brazier or just a torch.
It looks it looks like braziers.
Hey Teddy, I think I'm
Definitely
stuck
like a-
in. I'm stuck.
Oh, let me unstuck you. Sorry.
Thank you.
Of course. You do also spy at the very back. There are 2 stone doors. That do appear to have built-in locks. The stone doors do look more recent than the rest of the room. What would you like to do?
Who wants to sit in the hand while I sacrifice blood on the altar?
Swims over there underwater, just gulping, gulp, 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 gulp.
The blood does not ever seem to end. And you notice, curiously, that you do not feel as nourished as you normally do when drinking blood.
Fair enough.
It's like it's kind of like when you're really hungry and you go to McDonald's and it's like it's definitely doing something for you, but
It's McDonald's.
it's McDonald's. Like
You're still kind
you
of
know that
thirsty.
you could go to like a better burger place.
You're for sure gonna have blood diarrhea later.
No, that's Burger
It's
King.
the worst. It comes out both
That's
ends.
Burger King.
Blood King. Behind the altar, there is a large banner tapestry, and it just depicts like the print of a large hand. It is colored green, not the hand, like the fabric,
Oh,
and then
okay.
the handprint itself is white.
Okay.
And there's sort of like silver and gold trimmings around the edges, and it makes a sort of like what are they, like a chevron shape, where it's sort of like it becomes comes down to like a point at the bottom. Not quite a triangle; it's like a rectangle, and then
Yeah.
leads into a triangle.
It's upside down chevron. Yep. Is the hand on the tapestry the same size as the hand that Jimmy's sitting on?
No, the hand on the tapestry would be a little bit smaller.
Is it like my size of a hand?
No. The hand that Jimmy's on is sort of like a 10 by 10, roughly, like a little bigger than that. Statue, and the banner, it's more like a 5 feet by 5 feet.
Why is it green? Is there anything else green in the room?
Make a perception check or investigation.
Hmm.
There are some green elements in the room. So as stated before, above each of these, before each of these lights, is a sort of like a motif, like a graven image depicting different scenes, and there you notice there's some decorative elements, parts like most of it is like stone and marble, right? But there are some sort of like accent flourishes where it looks like emeralds or green gemstones have been sort of embedded to make more of at least at a glance more of a decorative flourish, or maybe there is like a religious element to it.
Trying to go through my stuff. Can I make an investigation to see if there's any like hidden entrances or anything out of the ordinary within this chamber?
Sure. Give me an investigation or perception check.
Alright, I'm using my Master Infiltrator, which gives me advantage on investigation or perception checks.
Yes. There apparently is a mechanism at play. It is both mechanical and magical in nature. Each of these lights on the walls to the east and west are some kind of switch. When the lights are snuffed out, it'll have some kind of effect. And with a total roll of 15,
It's actually, I had advantage on that, so it'd be 17.
oh, pardon me, 17. Well, with that 17, you are largely certain. Like, it reminds you of a combination lock, right? The right sequence of candles being put out could lead to something beneficial.
Okay. Not really that. Oh, go ahead.
Hmm?
Go ahead.
You do see that there is a trap. The trap can be disarmed. Well, arguably there are 4 traps. If you determine that if you get the combination wrong, it will spew out a poison. from the last candle that you've put out. But a thieves' tools check could disarm it. But you would have to disarm it 4 times to be completely sure.
I know you're proficient with these tools, aren't you? I am as well.
Yeah, and I get a +2 to any on top of all of my things. I also get a +2.
So what's your total modifier then? Because you got the gloves too. That's another +5, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got the gloves of thievery, which makes a dexterity. Hold on.
My thieves' tools check would be 4, 4, and 3, so 11 plus 11.
Oops. I don't know what my thingies are.
That's an 8.
So plus
Or no, that's a 6.
Okay, so your proficiency is 4. What's your dex modifier, 2?
dex
So
is 0, but it technically is a +2.
what's the extra +2 from?
My master infiltrator.
Okay, so 4, 2 is 6, and then 5 from the gloves is 11, right?
Yeah.
So it's essentially the same as mine. But I can assist you. You can get advantage on it if you want. Or what are your hit points? I'd probably take the poison better than you can.
Yeah, I've got a. I go
Well,
about
then we had an arcane trickster.
dexterity. Change this to +2 plus 5.
Unless Teddy will let you use a modifier other than your dex.
With this one, I would have to say it has to be dex. It's rather delicate handwork that's required.
Yeah, so with everything
But I
total up,
appreciate
it's a
you asking.
+11. So I get a +11 to whatever thieves' tools checks I have.
Okay. I will say the DC looks to be 20.
All right, and I've got help.
Well, I have my Oh, you're good.
Okay, you deactivate the trap for this candle.
Sweet.
Also, Jimmy, give me a perception check while you're down there.
Is there a knife on this altar?
There is not a knife on this altar. The altar is clear of anything.
Dang it. Is this where we put a body?
I mean, it is long enough to put a body, but it doesn't seem to be a purpose built for that. You do see some like blood speckles, but not enough that like somebody would be murdered up there. You kind of get the impression that like maybe a holy person would be standing on this altar, addressing people around the room. Which, unless they would levitate, would have to like crawl through the blood. Jax, you find a key. Beside like the base of the hand, like the base of the wrist, it has sort of sunk down there while you were like gobbling up blood.
You just see a bunch of bubbles and then a hand shoot out, holding it upwards, waving it at y'all.
Looks like a pretty standard steel key. It's slightly rusted. There's a chance that it might break, and based on the design, Jex, you are Jimmy, you are pretty certain that it's Arenalian in origin. Old Elven.
Old Elvin.
By the way, Glade and Grunt, since I imagine the two of you were like focusing on disarming the trap with like this candle. The relief above it, the carving in the stone wall, depicts a elven woman with emerald eyes. She is pregnant, and she is like turning to run. And on the other side of the relief, there are soldiers who are readying spears, and in the center there is a large dragon, whose image seems to be also has emerald eyes and is sort of dotted with emeralds and green gems in place of like scales strategically. Like they don't have enough to like fill the entire dragon. And he has like this sort of like spine frill indicative of green dragons, and he's like rearing up, about to attack the soldiers. There is also a epithet, like there's like a title beneath it, sort of carved, like where you'd put a plaque. Is anybody in this party fluent in Elven?
No.
No.
Negative.
Then y'all can't read that shit. But yeah, the trap has been disarmed for this one. What are you guys doing?
Let's keep disarming traps, huh?
Yeah, I'll keep disarming traps.
I'm wandering around and putting this key in random places.
There are 2 doors down here.
You know what? Pick a door. I'll guard you.
Jimmy, the door unlocks. And Glade, you disarm this trap.
Sweet. Well. Do the fingers have traps in them? Was it?
I would ask for a different investigation check because it's a pretty huge, different part of the room.
Okay. I get advantage on that. Yeah.
You're not entirely sure, but you do kind of get the vibe that the hand in the center might be more for ceremonial purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's a trap that is purely magic, that hand is not moving.
Okay. Well, then I think we'll make our way over to this candle.
It has no mechanical components and is made out of a black wood. Would you like to know about the relief that was above this candle?
Yes, please.
That relief depicts the woman that in the previous relief was pregnant. She is not pregnant in this relief. She is, in fact, sort of like standing rather serenely. She has her arms outstretched, and behind her is the silhouette of the same dragon, and its wings are sort of coming up and around her.
In like more of like a protective way, or just kind of like a mother of dragons way, or is this kind of like just a oh, there's a dragon in the background type of thing?
Give me a empathy check
Insight.
or insight. Pardon. Fuck.
Alright.
You kind of get the vibe from the elements in this piece that it is more suggesting that these two entities are tied together, and maybe it's like the start of whatever relationship they have. What's more important is that these two are clearly presented as important figures historically. Thank you, Kat.
I can't be the only one who thought about that.
Jimmy, this room is dark. Why don't you have night vision?
That's a good question.
Dompier should have night vision. You find an office. It is, or it looks like an office. It looks remarkably preserved. There's a small bookshelf. It kind of gives you the vibe of like a scriptorium. Like this is a place where like monks or priests would be writing logs or tomes or writing new holy texts. Basically it's a workstation room. There's a bookshelf to the back, some spare chairs sort of like tucked in a corner, some crates in another corner. There is a book opened. The ink well is dry. The book that is open is written in, I'm sorry to say, it's written in Elfish.
Well, I'd be really upset if I could read. I guess I just start rummaging.
Okay, give me an investigation check, and we will check in with Glade and Grunt. You guys will be working on this mural, right?
I did do that one. That was a 30.
Oh, I see. Right. So you do get it disarmed. The effigy depicted shows the woman who's been in the previous three. She is laying on her back, and her arms seem to be splayed out, and her head is sort of hanging backwards, sort of evoking a sense of death. And rising out of her is another woman. She is regal in her depiction, like she is like standing up straight and facing forward. She is depicted with emerald eyes and draconic wings and a crown of horns. She is also presented as wearing a belt of emerald jewels that sort of comes across her hips diagonally. Her wings are wide and triumphant, and her hands are clawed. You discern the trap, though.
Interesting. All right. We'll move to the next one. Oop, that was with advantage. That's not with advantage. Let's try this again. That's so much better.
Wow, the duality of man.
It is.
There is no more threat from these traps. In fact, you're pretty sure that if there is a method of them resetting, they won't for a good long time. So, in other words, as long as you're here, this trap is not going to reset because of that crit.
Sweet.
This mural once again depicts the first woman and the dragon. They do appear to be in an embrace, sort of twisted around each other in a sort of like abstract intimacy.
We love some good smut.
We do love some good smut. Botan and Jimmy, rummaging through this room, you don't find much, but you do find a coin purse, Jimmy, containing 130 Tarnathi crowns. Partways
Bites the
through...
coin.
Sorry?
I don't know if he would know what Carnathi is, so he bites the coin.
They're gold, they're legitimate. And it would be common knowledge. So to explain, the continent of Corvair was largely taken up by a single great nation of mostly humans called Galifar, right? And the war that came to a ceasefire 5 years ago lasted for 100 years and was started due to a succession issue. The good king of Galifar died, and the heir that he had chosen was the youngest of his children. And his older children, who were the leaders of the other provinces, took umbrage with that. And we'll spare the specifics, but it became a whole thing, and that's why today there isn't a Galifar anymore, and why Galifar crowns are no longer in print, so to speak. Instead, the provinces became nations, and that's how you get Breland and Thrain. And now they all tend to prefer their own currencies, although Galifars are still accepted. A long ass fucking time ago. Yes, indeed. Karnath is a country to the north of Breland, north of Thrain, and its major export is necromancy. It was a major military power. Still is. But it was thought that Karnath was more than likely going to be one of the contenders to actually win the war via military might, and one of the reasons is due to its specialty and cultural acceptance of necromancy as a magical practice. So, early on in the war, they were very, very dangerous, and did continue to be dangerous. But a lot of magic was developed, and like the Silver Thrain, the Silver Flame was utilized largely to combat hordes and hordes of like undead soldiers. Because if you're going to go to war, right, and your soldiers can't die, then that's a pretty good army, economically speaking. Obviously, Karnath didn't end up winning. None of the nations did. But that's kind of Karnath's thing. They're the necromancers. But anyways, Jimmy, you find 130 of those Karnathi crowns. And gold is gold is gold.
And gold is gold is gold. I guess I take this book. I don't know what it says, but it looks like it's the last one to be used, so it might be important.
Very good. Give me an investigation check while you're looking at it. So the ink is dried. The book does not seem ancient. You don't think it's been worked on recently, but it's not in danger of like falling apart or anything. So it kind of stands to reason to you that, you know, this book isn't abandoned. Hell, it could have been the dragon who would come in here and work on it. Who knows? But sorry.
I was just agreeing.
Don't shut the door on me. It got dark.
I'm sorry. Is it a master key or a shitty lock?
The key does not work on this door.
Oh, boo.
But there aren't any traps as far as anybody knows.
Hey, Teddy.
Yes?
Can I get some dark vision?
I thought Leonids didn't get dark vision.
We do.
Well then, yes, of course.
Oh, thank you. Is this a wall separating these rooms?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess there's a window.
It's
Fuck!
like one of those school classrooms where like there's just like 2 feet on top of the wall that doesn't exist or something.
It's
Okay, pardon me. You guys shouldn't have seen that fucking wall. I'm gonna fix that right the fuck now.
It's okay. I didn't see anything. I just saw a room with a table and a book on it.
I figured,
and
so
the
I just
wall.
pretended nothing was there.
Have an inspiration for being good sports. Good gravy. How embarrassing for me. It happens every time. Every time I set up like a custom map, I always forget like a wall or a door. Every time.
It's okay. I don't know what's on the other side. I just saw a half of a room. Or no, I saw the full room with walls included.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go sit on the hand. For better or
You,
worse.
you can go sit on the hand if you want.
Oh.
Weren't the torches a puzzle? If we put them out in an order, maybe it'll open the
Yeah.
door?
I think I know which one's the end, but I don't really know which one's the beginning.
It was essentially them meeting, fucking, them chasing her, and then her dying? It was
So
a meeting.
So it's this one, that one.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter if we get it wrong, because we disarm the trap.
Until the fist closes and kills Jimmy and I.
Don't sit in the fist.
The
But
fist
there's a
does.
giant hand.
Don't you tell me not to get fisted.
The hand does not fist Jimmy or Botan.
Oh, okay, then I'm going back on the.
Do they get fingered?
They do not get fingered. you hear some sliding sounds. The lights come back on, and I don't have special effects. I'm sorry, but the lights, like all the flames in the room, the ones you put out, they come back, and and they all change whether they are back or were still present. The light changes to green, like the flames change to green, and you hear the sound of stones scraping against stone from two different directions. Most immediately, some small scraping beneath you, Jimmy and Botan, and the blood begins to drain.
Is it because we sat in the hand?
No, it's because Grunt solved the puzzle. This is
It's
what would
'cause
have
we sat in
revealed
the
the
hand.
key.
I thought it was because we sat in the hand.
I mean, your characters can believe that if you want. Um, leaving an empty, blood-stained pool. Now that it is empty, you see that there are rings of elvish script that come out in a spiral from the base of the hand. Further inspection shows you that there are these like little like grates at the base of the hand that functions as like a drain. So that's now empty. Jimmy, and frustratingly, the key still does not work. No, I'm not assuming that you tried that again, but there doesn't seem to be another key. You do know, like your senses tell you that there is something has moved beyond this door and in this room.
Oh.
Right, there's been a change there, and you can tell that by the sound.
Can you guys pick this lock too? There was a big ka-chunk behind this door. I wonder if there's something tasty.
Help is on the way, dear. Help is on the way. Running, wading through the water with my lockpick in the air.
Mrs. Gladefire. Yeah, give me a thieves tool check.
Sweet. Oh, that's
Easy.
yeah.
Oh wait, it doesn't have advantage?
I think I only get advantage if I'm not being helped. I only get advantage on checks, and then I only get a +2.
I'm proficient as well. I can help you.
Okay, I get help. So yes,
Oh, that
with
would-
advantage.
Between you and Grunt, you unlock the door. With that 24, it also informs you that if there is no key out here, then either whoever resides in here is gone, or this door is locked to deter intruders.
Is to keep something in.
Uh-oh.
Do you open the door?
I'd like to do a quick perception check to see or listen behind the door. See if there's any sounds of life.
Let's hear it.
Let's make sure. I do not get advantage on this. Making sure. No, okay. Straight. Perception.
You can't be sure. You can smell that there's a different scent, like kind of a grave dirt scent.
Okay.
But you don't hear anything necessarily.
Looks like the door has been keeping something in, but doesn't quite sound like there's anyone home, so I think we're good.
And do you open the door?
Sure.
The door leads to what appears to be another office. There's a table in the back with some mundane-looking chests, a simple reliquary bookshelf that appears to be holding bottles of wine, more than likely sacramental, as well as some. It looks like maybe there's some holy symbols, censures, like other tools for religious duties. Most immediate to your previous questions, you do see a table that looks like is often used as like another work desk, but behind the table, there is the absence of a wall, which logically, like you've already been on that other side, logically, that wall should lead outside, but instead it leads to stairs going down. Jimmy, when you enter and poke your head around the corner to look down the stairs, your dark vision tells you that at about 40 feet, there is a landing and what appears to you to be a hole of some kind, like a 10 by 10 foot hole with a ladder. You spot the top of a ladder.
Well, we went down the throat. Now we gotta go down the back hole, I guess.
You going first?
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna group you guys up just so I can take y'all all at once to the next section of the map. You descend down the stairs and eventually down the ladder. The ladder is a steep climb. You travel walking down what each of you estimate to be about 280 to 300 feet, something around there. It's difficult to keep track. But it is a long, long climb down. When you do eventually get to the bottom, there are more ornate ebony stairs. There are also lights to a large chamber at the bottom of those stairs. A tapestry on the wall, and carved into the ground is a large disc made out of some kind of you're not quite sure, but it's smooth like marble, but it doesn't have the sheen of marble. It has that handprint, as the banner did in the previous chamber.
Sweet mother, send your child unto me.
How would you like to proceed?
I give the floor a high five.
An intruder. You slap the hand. Glade reflexively rolls stealth. Botan, and Jimmy, you turn. There are two more small flights of stairs, 5 feet to a landing, and then another 5 feet. Deeper down that chamber. Is a figure in commanding armor that incorporates bones into the motif.
Ooh.
The armor appears to be full plate, and he wields a great sword and a long bow.
I don't know. You be dressed in a lot of metal for calling someone an intruder.
Well, if you're not, then clearly you know the passphrase.
Was I who fucked the dragon?
Is that in character?
Yes.
Ah, shame then. Well, nothing for it. He is going to very swiftly draw his greatsword. Sort of like swing it, and in a downward motion, plunge the tip of his sword into the ground. There is then going to be a pulse of negative energy that ripples out from him. And from the earth, a number of skeletons and specters crawl their way out.
Wow.
And my macros are not working. How very good for me. Now, hold on.
Excuse me.
Feel free to roll initiative. You walk up and you high-five the hand. That's a failed stealth check if I've ever heard one.
What's a stealth check?
Fair question. In the 60s, they said stealth checks were very nutritional, but we found out recently that all in all, well, like, they can supplement some good stuff in your diet. They're not as necessary as previously thought, and are largely elective at this point. You can use your inspiration to add a +10 to your initiative instead of just rerolling when it comes to initiative.
Yeah.
If you want to bump
Oh
that
yeah,
up
then
to a
I'll just do
16
that.
instead.
Yeah, that
Word.
sounds much better.
Sorry. What was that, Mudster?
Yeah, I liked his idea. I used my inspiration as well to reroll my initiative.
Understood.
I know what I'm doing immediately.
What are you
Damn.
doing?
I'll wait until we start. one's properly ready.
Something fireball formation.
I'm a ranger.
Botan, what
I
are we
know,
gonna be
that's the
doing?
sad part.
We're gonna see if this works.
They are in good formation
Fairy
for that.
fire. A 20-foot cube. That gets all of them, I think.
I believe so, yeah.
Well, they better roll their deck saves. 15?
Is it Dex? I thought it was Con.
Very
No, it is
Dex.
DC is not 50. DC is 15.
Understood. A Bone Knight evades, even though he is not penalized or gained any benefit. However that ended up.
Figured this was kind of a long shot. But if it sticks, it sticks.
So that is going to be a failure. That's going to be a failure. Only one Spectre manages to not be lit on fire. And I'm going to... What color is your fairy fire?
It's gonna be white outlined into black. A brilliant white.
Very good. Where's my icons? There they are. Skeleton time! Alright, let's see those failures, boys. That was on auto whisper. Pardon about that. They each rolled 6. So they both fail. Oh wait, there's a third skeleton. Pardon me. Got lost in the shuffle there, buddy.
Are these two boys out of it?
No, you're gonna get them too. I'm just
Oh.
rolling them last.
Okay.
Ah, the skeleton passed. One strangely dexterous skeleton. And you are going to get the most eastward shadow.
Okay.
Adam West dodges.
Mhm.
Good action. Do we have any bonus actions or anything like that that you would like to do?
Break line of sight.
Excellent.
I started here.
Mhm.
I'll go here. Because not much I can do with the bonus action currently.
By the way, this tapestry right here, it's an old tapestry. It depicts ancient elves and drow fighting alongside dragons, slaying giants in some far-off land. That Jimmy recognizes because Jimmy's a pirate. That looks like Shendrik to you, buddy.
Good drinking in Cendric.
What do the elves and drow look like?
Sorry?
What do the elves and drow look like? Or are they just elves and drow?
Yeah, like none of them are too particularly. No, they look old.
Okay.
Well,
It's
they're
like it's
pretty
like it's like
skinny and have pointed ears.
yeah. Well, so like culturally, it's like if any of us were looking at like ancient art depicting the Roman Empire, kind of, right?
Okay.
Or no, more like looking at Sumeria culturally, like old. That'll be your turn.
Yeah, I'm done.
Then it's the Grunster.
All right. Grunt's gonna grunt,
Yeah, buddy.
and then he's gonna use his superior breakthroughs. And cast Spirit Guardians at the 5th level.
Ooh, spicy.
Garbage rolls on the damage, but that's alright.
Well, you can re-roll your next turn.
Alright, I am going to move close to them. I believe that's all my movement to there.
That sure is. All right, let's see who you hit. It's gonna be 8 damage on a success, 16 damage on a failure.
It's radiant, if that matters.
It does matter for some of these enemies. Oh wow. Okay. With radiance in consideration, both of the shadows immediately die.
Oh. Okay.
As will the skeletons.
Oh, okay.
There is one skeleton remaining.
Spirit Guardians do that.
Spirit Guardians do that. And then we're gonna have a Spectre who is going to fail. Is not vulnerable to radiant, and so is going to take 8 damage. No, it's going to take 16 damage. I did not like that. Anything else from Grunt?
Spell slinging says I can cast up to a 2nd level spell. If it's a bonus action.
Yes.
I'll cast Spiritual Weapon.
Alright, just give me a moment to find our friend.
There he is.
There he is!
I would summon him there and then attack the guy right in front of him with that 17.
That is going to hit, destroying the Spectre.
That is my action, bonus action, and all of my movement. That's the end of my turn.
Okay. The Bone Knight is going to narrow his eyes through his mask. I see that you're formidable. And he is going to, like, utter something in Elven under his breath. Glade, you see a spurt of green fire come from this candle.
Oh, hello.
Manifesting. They are material, but clearly undead. They're also clearly elven, wearing armor that you are all you are all unfamiliar with.
Oh.
That's a pretty pimp shield.
It is a pretty pimp shield.
Look at this guy not wearing a gauntlet on his spear arm.
He's not going to bother with a stealth check, so he is going to charge Botan first.
Oh,
I need to
hi.
clip your nails, buddy. Cat's trying to make biscuits and tearing up my underbelly in the process. I know I love you, but your claws are sharp. Are you a fiend or undead?
No,
Well, that's good. Also, whoops.
not to my knowledge.
Did Roll20's jump gate thing reset all of my fucking sheets to always whisper? Because if they did, I'm gonna have some words. Anyways, they rolled a 23. I can get a screenshot if you don't believe me.
No, that's fine. That hits.
7 piercing.
Where's my calculator? Because math is hard.
You're at 78.
Thank you.
He's going to attack again, but you're going to dodge his follow-up.
I need a light. God damn, it's dark as shit in here. Excuse me.
The Spectre is going to sink into the floor. And is going to make a dash action. Glade, you see the Spectre rise up next to the Undying Soldier on your guys' side of the hallway, just sort of sinking up out of the floor. But it was its entire turn in order to do that. Jimmy, it's your turn.
Well, okay then. Sorry, rolls 20s being a pain in the ass today, and every time I try to scroll the map, it like reloads on me.
No, I understand. I've had some other players in some other games have similar issues. I'm guessing it's because they're trying to initiate their jump gate nonsense, and it is breaking everything. This is not an enemy. It's a can, buddy. I went to take a drink, and Jay's just like, movement. But please continue.
I'm gonna come give this one attacking Botan the bad touch.
You move. You can have advantage.
Okay.
Oh.
The
I have
bad
advantage.
touch. Check for crit. because he is wearing metal armor. 17 is going to get past his shield. Seven damage.
You should be rolling d10s with Shocking Grasp.
Yeah, house
Did
roll.
it not? Did it not? Oh yeah, house roll, not
Hmm.
automatic.
Yeah.
Let me fix that on your sheet. But also, 2 1s is 2 1s.
Yeah, it's still 2 1s, but
True garbage damage. Wait, I have a new thing.
do you do extra damage because of sorcery shenanigans? Oh, what is this?
So I can re-roll both of those? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorcery points!
Nice.
Okay, at
Hey,
least this one came
there
out
we
better.
There you go.
Get those all out of your system.
Yeah, really.
You do some pretty substantial damage to the Undying Soldier. Either you are very powerful, or these guys are not quite up to your guys' level. Which could mean a few things, but we'll worry about that later. Any bonus actions for Jimmy Swells or other movement?
No, that'll be all.
Splendid. Jay, I can't see. Am I gonna need to lock you out of the office, pal? We have a skeleton. Skeleton walk into Spiritual Guardians. The Bone Knight groans and rubs his temples in frustration as the skeleton immediately is torn apart by spectral rats and cockroaches and other spiritual vermin. Guarding good old Grunt. Glade, 2 more spurts of green flame. Summon more of those Undying Soldiers. One's coming after Jimmy. Jimmy, you are now flanked. So with advantage, the Undying Soldier is going to attack you, and you are considered an undead, are you not?
I think so.
In which case, 22 is going to hit, and you're going to take 5 piercing and 3 radiant for a total of 8 damage.
Okay, bet.
Then you're going to get hit again. For a whopping 15 damage, 9 radiant, 6 piercing.
God damn advantage. Can't even
With a
shield
rasp.
that.
Sorry?
I said I can't even shield that.
No, they're coming at you hot. He says something in a raspy voice in ancient Elven, and I mean, you don't understand what the fuck he said. Anyways, this guy's gonna attack Glade. Wait, no, Glade, you stealthed.
I did. They must make a DC 21 perception or investigation.
Well, let's give that a shot. He'll be attacking. He'll be attacking Jimmy. Does not have advantage. Sorry?
Apparently I was wrong. In 5e, they're still just considered humanoid Dampiers.
Really?
You still get hit with all that, though, don't you? Even a 21 is still going to get you, or can you shield that?
That is. But fuck it.
But fuck.
Sorry,
But
you're gonna
fuck
take
it,
that
I was-
damage. These guys have a unique gimmick, and I do have a finite number of them. This is like the one thing they're really good at. So sorry, Jimmy. I'll give you a reward later for the
I don't care.
trouble.
I just wanted to be technically correct because I was curious if I was right or not.
Yeah, it does say it.
So yeah, I guess you're technically considered a humanoid. Pardon me about that, but your undead lineage is going to trigger this effect.
No, I'm cool with that.
I just want to make your character choices meaningful in interesting ways. You know what I mean?
No, I was kind of sad I was wrong, so I'm okay with you going past it.
The UA.
High fives for plot shit. Sorry.
The UA version of Dampiers is humanoid and undead.
Makes sense. Well, the first hit is gonna get you, Jimmy. 15 damage, 10 radiant, 5 piercing. Gonna hurt, but that last attack is gonna be wide, opening him up for an attack of opportunity if you want to take it.
Bzz.
Nice.
See that damage? 18.
If he's
Fucking
wearing metal, you can roll
tasty.
for crit.
Yeah, do that. Thank you, Grunt.
So close.
Still, 18 is not too shabby, and you start cooking some fetid flesh. That is going to be his turn, bringing us to the Bone Knight. The Bone Knight is going to look at you, Grunt. Is going to crack his neck from side to side. And is going to raise his sword, and a green spectral banner is going to appear above his head. And he emits an aura.
Oh, that's a big aura.
And give me a... Go ahead and give me a Arcana check if you want to identify what he just did. You know it's something Carnathy. But you're not quite sure. He's not gonna bother switching weapons. It's not worth it. He is gonna shoot a shot though. Well, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to rush into your spiritual guardians. Due to the difficult terrain, that is as far as he can get. He needs to make a wisdom saving throw. Which he currently has an effect which gives him advantage. He's gonna take 8 damage. So he does not have resistance, and he is going to attack you. Grunt, you defend yourself against the first attack, but his follow-through catches you off guard. Unless you have something fancy, a second attack is going to deal 13 slashing damage.
Wait, that does not make it through my temporary hit points.
Does get past your AC, does not get past your temporary hit points, right?
Correct.
Okay. The Bone Knight is going to narrow his eyes. I see I have my work cut out for me. It has been a long time. Unfamiliar with this armor. From which country do you hail? Fair enough. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay. You are compelled to keep fighting this guy. You can't back away from him.
Oh, hold on a second.
Yes.
Flash of genius.
Yeah, Flash of Genius it. So +4. So
You are almost caught in his compelled duel. Your flash of genius grants you the insight to snap yourself out of the effect. Why do you want to fight? Yeah, I mean, you're fighting this guy, but there's no need for you to get in melee with this fucking dude. He almost got you. But your brain is sharp and full of that greasy brilliance.
Nice.
I really like Bone Knights, by the way. Like, just as a quick aside, Bone Knights are very fun enemies. If you're ever thinking of running your own Eberron campaigns, right? Try to concede a reason to get the Emerald Claw involved, and slip in some Bone Knights in there. They're fun. We have a Spectre who's going to do the same thing as before. Is going to slip under the earth, dash, and come up here, and that's going to be their turn. Bring us to Glade.
Okay. Well, fuck. Okay. So first things first, I'm hidden. We are going to. Yeah. I would like to cast. We'll shoot it. Which one do I want to shoot? I would like to do. We're gonna get this one right here, and I'm gonna shoot it with my crossbow with sneak attack, and we'll burn a bardic. Boop.
Alright, can you bardic yourself? I already forgot that conversation.
I can burn a bardic to use my psychic blades, which allows.
Oh,
extra
yes. I see. 13. Wait, you have advantage because you're stealth.
damage. I do have advantage.
Oh.
Unfortunately, with the spring of your crossbow, the undying soldier hears you and raises their shield just in time to deflect the bolt.
Oof. And then we're just gonna sit right there. Bonus action, hide. Ah! Shit.
You realize that you are on a set of stairs and there's no cover for you to hide behind.
Yeah. I'm just like, pew. Uh-oh. Everyone just turns to look at Glade like, oops.
Well, any movement or anything like that?
I don't like where I'm at, but I'm also I think we're just gonna stay here. 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna sit here for a sec.
Excellent. A fourth fire is going to summon another. He looks a little bit different, but you all recognize this type of thing. This is a Karnathi. This is a Karnathi undead soldier.
That looks more terrifying when you pull up the whole picture.
Is it his shitty fashion sense with the boots? Could I get those in fur, please?
Boots with the fur.
Whole
The old-
club was looking at Dar.
The old apple bottom jeans night.
Well, it's going to be attacking Glade.
Rude.
Apple bottom jeans night.
And it will be attacking you 3 times.
Oh no.
Ooh, that's a priority 1 target. That thing needs to die.
That's because this has a. You saw the picture. It has a wiggler in each hand. Oh wow!
I'm gonna just uncanny dodge that damage.
I would too. Oh, that's nothing.
Actually, well, is that doubled or is that?
No, that is it doubled. So
Okay.
the uncanny dodge brings that down to 5.
We'll take it.
To 5 damage. He dodges a second attack.
Yeah.
The
thanks.
third is going to connect, dealing 8 damage.
You have an AC of 14.
Mm-hmm.
Ow.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
He's got a plus fuck you to thieves tools, so
Oh, fat
it
little-
balances it out in different ways.
Why do you make characters that befuddle me?
'Cause
Listen,
Michael's great.
I never said I was good at D&D. I just said I enjoy D&D.
I'm not.
I
I'm
think you're good at D&D. I love I love your character builds. Like
I never said you were bad. I just said you're befuddled me.
every time I see one of Michael's sheets, I'm like, this is going to confuse other people in this party. I know exactly what you're getting at,
Oh, jeez.
and I appreciate the storytelling through the stats.
Yes.
But before we continue, we are at break time, so let's take our 10 to 15 minutes, and when we get back, we'll continue with this monster mash. See you guys in a little bit. I have returned. That's right, it's me.
Hello, hello.
How's it going?
Isn't going.
I am kicking myself a little bit. Like, I'm enjoying our campaign, and I do sincerely believe that I've made Princes of the Apocalypse Eberron-y enough, and by making it Eberron-y, I have improved Princes of the Apocalypse. But I will also say, I do appreciate the hirelings stuff to give me the opportunity to just prepare my own nonsense.
That's definitely fair. I'm just having fun with the shenanigans.
Oh, me too. And I love the Emerald Claw, dude. Like, they're just like the Emerald Claw. The Emerald Claw are like the Chad meme, and the Zentrum are soy boys. If I'm using that meme
honestly,
terminology correctly. Sorry?
I mean, honestly, you're right.
Zentrum kind of suck. Bone Knight, fucking Emerald Claw fucks. Wish it was different, Forgotten Realms, but it's not. I've got a friend who is at Dragon Con right now, having a great time, and apparently Keith Baker's going to be there, and one of the things he's going to be talking about is Eberron. And I'm like, motherfucker, I thought you quit. And
that-
like, if... Hey, welcome back. If I knew, though, that Keith Baker was going to be there, I think I would have actually, like...
Wanted to go a
Kind
little
of
bit.
like consider. I mean, I was already like thinking of going, but technically, how taxes could work up here, if I knew Keith Baker was there, I could claim this game as it being a work-related travel expense and claim it on taxes.
That would have been hella.
I mean, technically, you are going to a conference where a subject matter expert is speaking. So
Yep.
Dragon Con is a convention. Con can also mean conference. Just saying. Also, I think Keith Baker is still producing Eberron content. I think he's just not doing it for Wizards of the Coast because,
Yes.
yeah.
Like he's still doing it on his
He's still doing it for DM's Guild and stuff like that. Like he's got I believe it's Eberron Frontiers that he's in the process of writing or publishing right now. And that's like supposed to be like his next major installment for Eberron lore goes into the super detailed of the various continents as well as further into like Kabara and the not so detailed places that are in all the other core books, plus a whole bunch of expansions and stuff like that, and what he thinks on certain races and how they align with each other and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I heard a rumor that he was going to be addressing some core races that aren't prominently featured in Eberron, like Dragonborn. Like Dragonborn by default don't exist, except it's Eberron, so they do somewhere, right? That's his big ethos. Even if you don't find it in a source book, if you like it, just find the place to put it in Eberron. I appreciate that about you, Keith. Power to the players. But yeah, like honestly, my first thing is like, there's already barbarians on Argonison. Just make some of those barbarians Dragonborn. A big boom. You got them. Seems like the right solution to me. But if he's got a deeper scheme, I'm more than happy to indulge. That said, though, who do we got? Welcome back, Mud. Do we have a Jacked and a cat here? We have a cat, I see.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a Jacked. We have a Jimmy. So I think we're all here. Botan, what would you like to do?
Shoot this guy.
Roger. $22 is gonna get him.
Just make sure he dies.
You're using your swarm?
Yeah.
How very spicy of you. Well,
I could do it once per turn. Oh, he's still alive? Even
no.
with- Oh.
I'm just curious. Did you ever tell us what your swarm is?
Yeah, it's micro missiles from bullets.
Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. It's not the traditional like bugs or insects. It could be, but no. I'm taking a more futuristic approach.
We did a gag. One shot for Christmas. Like a Discworld one shot for Christmas. And we had a player who decided to be real gross. But it was very funny for that one shot. We were going after the fucking... I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Discworld, but somebody was impersonating the equivalent of Santa Claus. So we were going after him. And this one character named Bubrub was a barbarian ranger, and he was a swarm ranger. And instead of like a swarm, the DM allowed him to instead just make it like a poison fart cloud. And he just like fart in his hand, like toss it at people. It was disgusting. We all had a laugh.
Why do I feel like you told me this story before?
Because I think it's really funny. So I might have.
Let me use my inspiration to reroll that. There you go.
That's gonna hit. Remind me what who your target is again.
This guy.
Big boy. All right.
The other weak one.
Is also going to die.
Okay. Might as well get it out of my system. I will action surge.
Very good.
And I will attack the Spectre that has advantage from Fairy Fire.
Mhm.
I will Sharpshooter also, since I have advantage.
Are your bullets magical?
The gun is, but the bullets aren't. Because I explicitly have +1 ammunition. Are you saying that for the Spectres, I need to use the magical bullets for Spectre, or the Shadows?
I'm just wanting to make sure which ammo you're using.
Okay. Oh, no. Now you're making me... The +1 ammo is just to damage, right?
It also makes it magic damage.
Okay. Alright, I'll toggle a bullet for magical on the Spectres. And then click. That is a 22.
That's gonna hit.
Let me toggle Sharpshooter on. There. What does this do? Away from me. Okay, that's fine. I did click a +1 ammunition, so that is magical. And I
There's
don't...
another +1 on top of that.
Yeah, I didn't incorporate that into the damage.
Oh, that's fine. That's 27 damage. That is going to blow the Spectre away.
Nice. Alright, and I will bonus action steady aim for advantage.
You
And-
can't do that.
Why not?
You already swarmed.
Swarm is a free action.
Well, yeah, I guess not. I guess that is fine. But if I may,
Yeah.
do that first.
Do what first?
Bec-
Steady aim?
steady aim because it applies to all of your attacks.
Really? I thought it was just the next attack.
Nope. It
Really?
is all of your attacks for the rest of that round. Oh no! On your next attack roll in the current turn. Never mind. No,
That's
you're
what I thought. Okay. I'm sitting here going like, do I not know how steady aim works? God damn.
I thought maybe it was a house rule I'm playing with and I'm just getting confused.
Okay.
But
Yeah, so
pardon me, my mistake. It's getting late. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. Gathered Swarm is just a free action once per turn, which I've already used. Steady aim is on the roll, but it eats all my movement. And then I will target Big Man,
Big boy.
and
Get
I
'em.
will also click an ammunition. Actually, you know what? I'll click a poison bullet. And let's roll with Sharpshooter. Why not? 23.
23 is going to hit.
Okay. Still have Sharpshooter. Can't Hunter's Mark or anything else because I'm concentrating on Fairy Fire. I did a poison bullet.
A poison bullet, so it's going to do poison damage.
I guess so. Question mark? I don't know if it does poison damage or applies a poison condition. I just know I have poison bullets.
Oh yes, I recall. Those do poison damage.
Okay. Then I'm
Uh,
just
if I
poison
recall
damage.
correctly, in order to apply the condition, I think you need to apply specific poisons.
Okay.
I think. But yeah, that's going
I
to
remember
be.
I got them from the drow people when we first learned about the key. Those little drow.
Oh, the drow poison bullets.
Yeah.
Then they're gonna have the effects of drow poison.
Okay. Because I got a handful of them from when we encountered them. So I'll put drow.
So yes. All right. So. Drow poison, they need to make a DC 13 Constitution saving throw or be poisoned for 1 hour.
Okay.
If the saving throw fails by 5 or more, the creature is also unconscious while poisoned this way.
Oh.
The creature wakes up if it takes damage or if another creature takes an action to shake it awake.
Oh.
The Carnathi Undead Soldier is immune to the poison condition.
Damn it. Oh well.
You do 24 damage to him.
That's fine.
Doo-doo.
Oh, that's a chunk. That is my turn.
A chunk of doo-doo.
Chunk. Use my bonus and can't move.
Grunt, it is your turn.
Oh yeah. I am first going to re-roll my Spirit Guardian's damage.
Very good.
Much better.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's got some juice.
It's juicy.
I am then going to bonus action shift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I am then going to risk an opportunity attack and move.
Do you have a plan for your action?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Bone Knight is not going to take an attack of opportunity. No, he will. That's fine. Why not? Gonna miss. Carry on.
All right, I won't get to there. So that's what, 3 of them that are now in my Spirit Guardians?
Yes. Alright, let's see. 32 is what they're looking at?
Yes. DC 16?
The Spectre's dead.
This is pretty silly. It's actually 33 because of my freaking imbued wood focus. It does radiant damage too. That +1 radiant
yes.
or whatever.
Yes.
I am then going to, for my action, cast Word of Radiance. It's actually DC 18 now, and it'd be 7 radiant damage.
Okay. So with your Spirit Guardians, you destroy the Spectre. The Karnathi Undead Soldier passed, so they took 17 damage. And the Undying Soldier in front of you failed and will be taking 17 damage. As for the Constitution saving throws,
Ooh.
That's no damage on that one for a pass. It is also 20 feet, so the Bone Knight would have to save for it too.
well, under some kind of strange protection, the Undying Soldier and the Undead Soldier, what semantics at play, will not take damage from your Word of Radiance. You can tell that something is protecting them. You figure it is whatever aura is coming off of the Bone Knight. Any other movement or anything for Grunt?
That Word of Radiance goes 20 feet, so the Bone Knight would be in it too.
Oh, he would be in it. Sorry, I must have
Yeah, he
misheard. Pardon me. Well, he's
Ow.
taking that full damage. He does not gain advantage from his own buff. There are reasons for that.
And
But-
I am going to risk an attack of opportunity and move my Radiance back into the Bone Knight again.
If I was at Wizards, I would errata that nonsense would be disallowed, but we'll let it stand. It is worded that way. That is how the spell works. I don't agree with it, but that's how the spell works. The Bone Knight is gonna take 17 damage.
That's the end of my turn.
Good turn.
Thank you.
Jimmy, what do we got?
I guess I'm just gonna bad touch this one that fucked me up last turn.
Get him.
I think you have advantage on that too, if he's got metal on.
You do.
Ooh,
Ooh,
nice.
look at
Good shout.
Not that I probably needed it, but you know.
that. He did not have advantage on that, so that's a 4. The Undying Soldier. The Vaporized.
Nice.
Any bonus actions or movement that you'd like to do?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay. There is another spurt of green light.
Oh, who's this fuckbook?
A new player has entered the field. Clearly undead and possessing of great physical might. Any of you can roll a religion check to identify this creature.
I ain't gonna know shit.
Grunt, you identify it as a revenant. A type of undead that is driven by vengeance. They are indeed physically imposing. Shouldn't be anything that you guys can't handle, however. It is going to be immune to poison, as most undead are. And it has a bunch of condition immunities. It is going to also be resistant to necrotic and a psychic. It has the ability to regenerate, unless it takes radiant damage or fire damage, which are already taken care of. And it has a unique ability called a Vengeful Glare, where in response to some sort of act of aggression that it sees, or against like the target of its vengeance, it can make this attack, which doesn't do any damage, but it can paralyze a target. The Revenant is going to walk into your Spirit Guardians. It does not seem to care. Still needs to make a Wisdom save. Looks like it's going to take half damage. So that's going to be 17. And it is going to punch Jimmy with 2 fist attacks. Pardon me, it did not have advantage, but we'll take the first roll. 24, it's going to hit. So you're going to take 12 bludgeoning. Jimmy, followed by another 12 for a total of 24. A vicious 1-2, unless you got something fancy in the pocket.
No, I can't shield that.
So, bam, wham! These heavy punches just like slam into you. Sorry?
Nah, it's fine. Don't ignore me.
The Bone Knight needs to make a Wisdom saving throw. It's going to take 17 damage. And he is finding these Spirit Guardians really frustrating. So he's going to cast a spell on Grunt. Please make a Wisdom saving throw. It is not going to stick. Which he doesn't like much at all. Shame that, but it was worth a shot.
I don't think I care much for being on the other side of CC attempts.
The Bone Knight is going to close the distance with you, Grunt, and is going to make a single greatsword attack. Which you are going to evade. Glade, it is your turn.
Right. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna bop this one in the head. Oop. And I'll throw in a Bardic Psychic Blades.
So that did a total of 12 damage.
Is this?
For this roll, that's the 14. That is not enough. The undead soldier perishes.
Sweet.
Nice.
And then I don't have any bonus action thingy things. You know what? I'm going to give an bardic inspiration to Jimmy. You have a D8 when you want it.
I don't know that you can
Oh,
double
yeah.
bardic dice though. Doesn't using yours take the action or the bonus action?
For my psychic blades. No, it just says I can expend one of them. And I can only do it once per turn. I can only use the psychic blades once per turn, and then as a bonus action, I can give bardic inspiration.
All right, gotcha.
And then, ooh, do I want to give flanking? No, I do not. But I do.
Are you absolutely sure about that?
Yes. Is this yellow? Is that? Do we know if that's dangerous or is that good?
That is good. That is Grunt Spirit Guardians.
Okay. And you know, those lights. Used my action already. I'm just gonna run over down the stairs to this light over here. And that'll be my turn.
Very good. Botan, what are we doing?
Steady aim, bonus action. Target this guy with advantage and sharpshooter.
Very good.
The 15, I'm gonna say that doesn't hit.
That hits.
15 hits?
Yeah, this is like a Frankenstein's monster motherfucker. Like, he is big and he has a huge health pool. But he is a big lumbering ox.
Sorry, it's a -3, not a -2. It's a 14.
That still hits.
Okay. Alright. I will... Sure, why not? Let's favored foe him. Because I'm pretty sure my fairy fire is not on anyone relevant anymore. And instead of doing swarm damage, I'm going to use it to move me 5 feet horizontally.
Very good.
That's the damage from the first attack. Okay. Unsharpshooter. So I'll roll straight. And second attack, same guy. 17. You said a 14 hits, so assuming
That does hit. Like 16 damage.
And that is bonus action and no movement because of steady aim. That's it for me, boss.
Very good. The flames glow green again. This time I would like Jimmy and Glade to have a roll off. Using a d8, please roll, and whoever rolls higher will be more lucky. I'm sorry, Glade.
Ooh.
Yeah. I have a feeling.
The undead soldier is going to attack you 3 times.
Ooh. Oh.
The first 2 attacks are going to hit for 7 and 9 for a total of 16 damage, but he holds himself way open. If you want to use your reaction for a attack of opportunity, you can.
Do I want to uncanny dodge or do I... we'll do. Yes. I'll take the damage and I'll hit him.
Get him.
Ugh, that's a really good hit too. 7, 14, no, 16. I'm assuming that because these things are probably undead, they're most likely resistant or immune to poison.
Correct. It looks like they are. This particular enemy looks to be resistant to poison.
Okay.
So that's a total of 9 damage. Actually, you know what? He's going to use his reaction.
Oh.
He's going to take no damage.
Oh.
Rude.
It's not like you guys aren't level 10 or nothing. But I guess that's the Carnathi Undead Soldier's turn as you start dueling with it. Grunt, it is your turn.
Hey, Swells, you got your shit together? You got a plan? Jimmy, would you care for a sanctuary, or are you gonna attack some shit and break the sanctuary?
I only have offensive spells, so
Alright. I will then... move my spiritual weapon to there and bonus action attack the Bone Knight. I gotta find it on my sheet. Oh, I don't know why I didn't roll that.
Interesting. Which spell are you casting? Again, sorry?
It's the spiritual weapon.
Oh, right. Against the Bone Knight.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that misses.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, the Bone Knight is pretty heavily armored and a good fighter besides, so evades the spiritual weapon.
All right then. For my action, I will cast Word of Radiance.
Very good. And it's up to 20 feet. All right, so that's gonna hit everybody.
Yeah, it's DC 18 damage 8.
Okay.
Nice. Not nice. Gross.
The Bone Knight is going to take 8 damage. The undead soldiers are going to take nothing.
Alright, that's the end of my turn.
Very good. Jimmy!
I guess I gotta drink my potion.
I mean, I'm not here to tell you what to do. You follow your heart, my friend.
Oh, that was really good.
Oh, yeah. So that's your bonus action. What are you going to be doing with your action, pal?
I have a new spell I want to try, but I would hurt like everyone else here. So
So here it goes.
yeah, I think I can draw a line between these two without hitting Glade
Oh, for a good old lightning bolt?
for a good old lightning bolt. You know what? No,
Absolutely.
a buffed up lightning bolt.
Damn, that's good damage.
Good gravy! Well, let's see what happens.
Oh. Still have. Nice.
The Carnathi Undead Soldier is going to take the full force of that. 48 damage. Which is not resisted. Ooh. Such incredible pain. The Revenant is going to take 24. Is there anything else for Jimmy?
No, I think that'll be all for Jimmy.
All right, well, the Revenant needs to make a Wisdom saving throw. How much damage, would you remind us again, Grunt, is on the table if he fails this?
I was going back up to check again. 33, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right.
33.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to take 17.
It's 32 plus 1, wasn't it?
Yep, that's right.
And which one of you motherfuckers did the most damage to him last round? I think that's between Botan and Jimmy.
The Remnant?
The Revenant, yes.
The Revenant?
I think it is Botan.
Yeah, if that lightning bolt only did 22, I certainly did more than that.
He does not get regeneration because he has been taking radiant damage. He's going to look at you, Botan,
I did at least.
and he's going to try to make you feel real bad. Give me a Wisdom saving throw.
Vengeful Glare. Oh, this is the paralysis one. Wisdom is over here.
You steel yourself, and you are unaffected by the Vengeful Glare.
Nice.
He is going to shovel forwards and try to punch you.
That's fine. That hits.
11 damage. Followed by, oh wait, he uses Vengeful Glare, so he only gets the one attack. Pardon me, my mistake. So that's only 11 bludgeoning.
11. 6.
And it is the Bone Knight's turn. The Bone Knight needs to make this Wisdom saving throw. which he does. So he's going to take that 17. He falls to one knee. I'm sorry, my lady.
Oh.
He's going to get up to his feet. Silvery barbs? You gonna silvery barbs this man? Oh,
No, you're already in the middle of the monologue. You can keep it. I was too slow.
I don't know. I see it. The timeline is secure, but you can give somebody an advantage. Who's it gonna be?
We'll give it back to Mudge.
Thank you.
Not Glade, who gave you a bardic inspiration.
I think that's what I meant to do. I'm just used to
Yeah.
them being opposites.
You can do that. That's fine.
No. Who's it gonna be?
It'll be Glade. I'm just used to giving it to the bard, and I forgot who was the bard.
The lines have crossed. Well, the Bone Knight is going to get to his feet. Not for nothing. He might go out like a chump, but he's not going to go out like a running chump. He's going to be attacking Glade. No. Sorry. Now I did it. Thank you for passing on this curse to me. He's going to be attacking Grunt. With his great sword twice. Those attacks are going to be deflected. And Glade, it is your turn.
All right. I would like to put out this fire.
That fire is put out. It will stay out. That is a interact with object.
Okay. We will then
Give him the chair.
I'd like to bonus action disengage
Or not.
and run over here, and then I'm gonna shoot him with my crossbow.
Get him.
Give him the chair from afar.
Damn it!
Or not.
That is going to miss.
Oh,
Your advantage.
You do have advantage.
damn it!
Oh,
You are going to miss.
Can I use my inspiration?
If this was Pathfinder, I'd say no, but we aren't playing Pathfinder.
All right. Well,
Spin that shit.
third time's the charm. Let's go.
yep. Oh,
It misses.
'Twas not meant to be.
So because they're undead, I imagine like Glade runs away, pulls out his crossbow, pop, 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 and they just like stick into the undead soldier's back, and he just like turns around like slow like Groot, like not even aware of what happened.
I'm imagining Glade not even turning around to shoot and just burying all three in the wall.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Ugh. All right, that'll be my turn.
Well, it swings back to Botan.
alright, let's do some cleanup. Holy shit, Grunt, you've been eating this guy's ass. This is the first time I'm looking at the boss's house.
It's called tossing a salad, and it's delicious.
I love Greek cuisine.
Let's sharpshooter flank this guy.
Get him.
25.
That's gonna hit.
I don't know how much health he's got. He seems like he has a lot, so I will add the swarm damage to this as well.
It is true. He's a bit of a sponge. Yes.
And
It's a bit of a spongely.
I haven't used a superiority die yet, so I could do almost all the things and do a superiority die just for extra damage, but that seems silly. He's gonna live on his sliver, isn't he?
That's going to be 32 damage.
He's living on a sliver. God damn it! I knew I should have done the maneuver. That's
Oh,
alright.
well.
He'll die to Spirit Guardians, I guess.
C'est
Just
la
for
vie, mon ami. He has 5 HP. Sorry?
I kind of want to do my little roar just for fun, but everything's gonna die in like the next turn. All right, then I've moved, so I can't steady aim. So let's take after Glade and go after that guy. This will not be sharpshooter, and it will not be a favored foe, so I can unclick that.
That's going to be a big ol' hit. See that damage. Good guy! There's got to be a critical. It's not. He dies.
Okay. Grunt, I leave the rest to you, because I will stay where I am. Actually, you know
Well,
what?
hmm?
I'm just gonna second wind as my bonus, but that will end my turn.
Okay. Let's see that dice, and then Grunt gets to go.
Yeah, I just gotta figure out what's the parameters. 1d10 plus 4. D10 plus.
Yeah, go ahead, Grunt. What's the play?
Gonna shout, kitchen flame! It's actually an 18 DC and 6 damage, and I'll do it at the Bone Knight.
The Bone Knight. Well, that's going to be a failure, so he's going to take that 6 damage.
That was a good second wind.
Yeah, that's a
Jimmy.
max second wind.
It's the end of my turn.
Jimmy! What's the play?
Oh, they're not dead?
Not quite dead.
I'm sorry. Can I try to hit him with my spiritual weapon as my bonus action?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I don't know how to click my sheet to make it just roll the hit on that.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter. I'll just add
Yeah.
the spell slot back.
Works for me.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's
Your
nice.
spiritual weapon is not going to hit the Bone Knight. Alright, Jimmy.
Sorry, I haven't played Jimmy in long. I'm reading my spells. I'm trying to figure out what I can,
You got a magic missile?
If it also helps, the Revenant and the Bone Knight look like they're about to be eaten by spectral rats and cockroaches. They are on their last legs, and they're probably not going to survive
I mean, that's
the next
true.
hit of spiritual weapon.
But also, I'm trying to see if I can twin lightning lure, but
By the way, the Bone Knight's armor. Oh, pardon me. The Bone Knight's armor is made out of bone. The Revenant is wearing leather armor for shocking grasp purposes. Just so you know.
No,
You
that's
can-
cool.
You can swap positions with me if you want to kill the Revenant and have advantage. bone knight will take a little bit of work to get to.
No, I just wanted to try to rip them both over here.
Who are you, Theo?
Kinda.
Strength saves. All right, well, I guess. Let's see him. They are both going to fail. They're both going to take 16 damage. Jimmy, how would you like to end this combat?
I guess I just throw out a leash of lightning at the Bone Knight, grab him right in the center as he shatters into a pile of skeletons that are all quickly devoured by the spiritual bugs.
Dig it. Hell yeah.
I just had to hit the Bone Knight at least once because I started the combat by talking shit, that's all.
I need a nap.
I feel that.
Same.
I was talking about in game, but damn, guys.
No, in game 2.
Oh, okay. I realized I said I need a nap with a yawn, and I thought you all were being like, damn, yeah, it's getting late.
You hear Leo's voice up the ladder. Well, you can always come back up here. I'm still trying to figure out how to lower my elk down there. It's a bit of a puzzle.
Just tell
Just
it
gotta
and summon
stretch
it
the
again
whole-
later.
It's a gamble every time, man.
I'm a very bad battle master. Never use my superiority dice.
Make a sticky note for yourself.
I was considering it against that remnant just to have extra damage, but I didn't, and I should have. It's okay. It's okay. We
This
allowed-
combat ends. Well done.
Yay! Are we allowed a short rest?
If you want, though, you can see down here that there is a functional mess, which is where the Bone Knight and his cronies were in, suggesting that there might be more people.
Oh.
So it is recommended to find a place to shore up, because if you camp just wherever, your rest might be interrupted.
I see. It's a big ass door icon.
Well, that's because it's attached to a big ass door.
Alright. Do we want to go upstairs and have a little bit of a nappy with all the druid and his animals? 'Cause it looks
I
like we
wanna
can
go-
get some-
Yeah, I want to go nap submerged in blood.
Okay.
I'm down.
We can get some HP and I can get some fighter shit back. Oops. There, we all grouped up nice and neat for you, Teddy.
Oh, very good. I'll just keep you guys there, knowing that you're upstairs. I would like Jimmy to roll a d12,
Ooh.
and I would like a Grunt to roll a d8.
Ooh. We rolling the numbers of our next encounter?
Your rest is not interrupted.
Woo.
Go ahead and take all of your short rest benefits. During your short rest, James, you receive something of a minor vision as during your break you sort of nod off. You don't quite fall asleep, but your mind sort of drifts and you think you hear a voice. A surprisingly sweet, tender voice. Feminine and scared. Though she is speaking in Draconic. Hello? Is someone out there? Hello? Oh, that's rough. Rolling a 1 never feels good when it comes to hit dice. Jimmy, how do you respond? If at all.
Can you say that again? I totally blinked for a second because I was looking at the hit dice.
Oh,
I'm
that's
so
fine.
sorry. That was rude.
No, that's fine. You hear a scared, feminine, surprisingly sweet voice, but she is speaking in Draconic. She sort of calls out, "Hello? Is someone out there?"
I mean, not someone, but yeah, we're out here.
Well, Glade, Grunt, Botan, Jimmy has officially started talking to himself.
Oh. Hey, welcome to the club. I'm talking to ghosts that no one else can see, so
You found our
Uh,
brain cell.
crazy club,
I-
party of 2.
I think it's the blood talking to me. There's a lot of it.
Are you here to save me or to hurt me?
No idea yet. Depends on if you want to eat us.
I eat you. No,
Hey guys,
that's not what I want.
Oh, okay, that's good. Hey guys, this weird voice in the blood says, "Are we here to rescue her?" And honestly, I don't even remember why we're here. So are we here to rescue her?
We don't really know why we're here either. We just kind of jumped into the egg or the little
You-
sphere that we found.
Okay, so the reason why you're down here, as a reminder, is that there's the promise of more dragon gold deeper
Yeah.
down here. That's why you came in.
We're here for loot. Ooh.
Because
I
Glade
mean,
was like, "This is just a part of the dragon horde. There's more somewhere else." And it's like, "Oh, weird temple underneath, like going deeper in the tree. That's if I was a dragon, I'd head more in there."
We're here to rescue the dragon's gold? But if you're here too, we could probably rescue you on the way. I don't see why not.
Since your companion started talking to you, you were sort of like roused from your daydreaming, and now you can't hear her anymore.
Aw, snap. Well, I guess she got bored. Did any of y'all hear the blood? She's almost as sweet as you, Botan.
Meow.
The ghost of the green dragon is going to whisper in Glade's ear. I think your friend's going crazy.
Yeah, I think so too.
Glad we agree.
Not me though. I mean, I'm talking to you, and you're definitely real.
I'm rather confident of you to think so, but I appreciate that. Or was that Botan?
Nothing.
But yeah, your song of rest can come to a close. You guys feel a little bit more rejuvenated.
I think Grunt will probably look at both of them as they're talking to whoever they're talking to, and then like start mocking them, just grunting noises.
Hey,
Like he's grunting at someone on his shoulder too.
hey, Jimmy, you can spend more than one hit dice.
I guess that's fair, huh?
Not telling you what to do, but your HP kind of was looking like my mental state there for a bit.
It's okay, I like living on the edge.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what that's.
I actually don't know how many I'm allowed to use at this point.
You can use as many as you need.
On a short rest, you can use as many as you have in the chamber
It's getting
if you
them,
really want.
getting them back is the harder part.
Yes. You were one away from 69. That's a shame.
So close.
Oh. Also, we should double check. Would a bardic inspiration dice technically be applicable to a hit dice roll?
Bardic inspiration.
Ability check, attack roll, and saving throw. So no, but it can apply to a death save, which is interesting.
Could it apply to that song? Oh wait.
Well, yeah, that's why I don't think you could, because the Song of Arrest is essentially that. It's a
Yeah.
free bardic for everybody that uses it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that Song of Rest actually goes up at a level too. At some level, it goes up to a D8, and it's on the.
Is it 8 at 8 and 10 at 10?
I don't even
Is
think
it-
it's that convenient, because it's really not that great of an ability. I think it's.
I think it's more just to get
10.
like a minor boost during
Yeah.
short rests.
D&D bar.
Yeah.
Song of Rest.
It might be on the freaking actual
Sure.
bard table too.
Song of Rest goes to a D8 at 9th, a D10 at 13th, and a D12 at 17th.
Yeah, it's kind of silly scaling with it. It seems like.
So we rolled d6s, so we'll split the difference, and everybody can add an additional 1 HP to your health pools. Unless you're at max, of course.
Well, that's for level. That's not. So those are level.
Oh, bardic levels?
Bard levels. So I'm only a level 5 bard. I'm not actually a level 10 bard. Or
Yeah,
Yeah, I got confused. I
yeah,
remember rogue.
Level 5 bard
it's just
yeah,
a D6.
D6 Song of Rest, but your bardics are D8.
Yes.
And Song of Rest only applies if you're spending hit dice, right? You don't
Yes,
just
you-
get.
Yeah, no, you have to spend hit dice, at least one hit die to gain the effects of it.
I mean, I might as well. It's gonna be complete overkill, but I might as well. Who knows? I might live on 4 HP, and that'll be what saved me from death.
You never know.
It's just one. It'll come back. It'll come back pretty easily.
Now, I'll leave it to you, fellas. We still have 40 minutes left. I'm still good to keep going. But this could be an organic place to leave session for this week as well. Like like you guys are taking a rest, and we can just start with adventuring next session. But if you guys want to keep going, I'm not going to complain either. It's up to you guys.
I'm gonna toss this out there too. We actually got started on time tonight,
That's true.
which means stamina-wise, we're about 30 minutes later than normal. That's all I'm saying. That's my whole piece. Take it for what it's worth.
Well, I mean, if we end here, it's a good place to bring back Blue when he's back next session, if we are playing. Otherwise, I mean, I'm fine continuing a little bit.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just working on this winch and pulley system for my giant elk. I'll catch up with you when I can.
Try getting it through the back fend first.
Through the witch.
Back end first. Back it up.
Back it on up.
I'm torn because it's like 40 minutes is enough for us to get into a meaningful combat. Not one we have to finish like next session, like the dragon was. But also this is a good stopping point, and it is natural. But at 40 minutes.
What else? We could also transition into a quick roleplay session, sort of around the campfire, so to speak.
Sing our campfire song.
Also, by the way, we have dancing lights here that I should have brought along with you. Pardon me. But maybe like Leo could kick that off with a question of, so I know the woods and I know the swamps. I don't know much about these spooky hand symbols and what have you. Do we got any theories in what we're now dealing with? Because, I was expecting like a big room full of more gold, not zombies.
We're dealing with ghosts.
Fucking ghosts.
We've got ghosts, sheets, and sheets with holes in them.
Didn't we actually ID the cult though from like some symbols and stuff earlier? Like we know what cult it is, don't we? From I thought there was an icon or something from a session or two ago that we.
Emerald Claw.
You did. You identified them as the Emerald Claw, but you didn't get high enough on your history checks to remember their relevance, except that they are an extremist group originating in Karnath and has a connection to the religion called the Blood of Vol, but they don't associate with each other.
That's such a base statement you just said. You didn't roll high enough to understand their relevance.
I was like, sorry, as I recalling the highest any you got was like a 13 or something.
No, you're absolutely right. It was just how you said it was funny. It's like none of you know why they're relevant.
Well, you do have a short rest. I'll let you guys make another attempt if you want, or if you guys just have ideas, you can go off the cuff. It's up to you guys. You guys are behind the wheel. I'm just laying out the roads.
There's a gerbil behind the wheel, so
Is the wheel spinning?
It's
yeah,
it's,
but
it's
it's very
just playing
squeaky.
like a high pitched Cotton Eye Joe or Eurobeat Leonard Skinnerd. You guys ever seen that?
I have not. It sounds It sounds
So
bad in like the best way possible.
it's incredible. So when I'm working on stuff or prepping on stuff, I used to just like have autoplay on YouTube and just be like, play whatever, right? Um, I don't do that so much anymore, but it did lead me to this gem. I don't recommend watching the whole thing right now. It's 7.5 minutes, but it is amazing.
Damn you, Canadians.
And when I'm driving on the highway, it makes me truly reckless. It is a dangerous song to have on hand.
Freebird, normal.
Oh, this is one of your go fast songs.
Uh, not necessarily go fast, but like it very quickly pushes me into a flow state.
Oh, this bops.
You get that high
Yeah. The first time I listened to it took me completely fucking off guard. That and the spinning rat is hypnotic. The spinning polygonal rat.
BRB, I gotta go get some Benadryl and some glow sticks.
Oh, do it.
Speaking of polygons, I started playing the remastered Tomb Raiders games.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Are they good ports?
they updated the controls, so it's not the grid-based system like the original was. It still has the original grid-based system.
If you want to go
And-
back and that's what you
yeah.
want to play.
Yeah, and man, like calling them tank controls in the settings is an understatement. I forgot how bad those controls were.
Well, I missed them when I was a kid, so I never actually played those games. I've only experienced them secondhand.
I'm glad they put an option to use remastered controls because, like, god damn, it's hard to fucking turn those triangle titties.
I remember being like 12 years old and playing like almost 30 hours of Tomb Raider 2, but never making it past like the third level.
Well, maybe now you might with the remastered controls or something.
No, it's because he kept getting distracted by the pointy titties.
I do like the remastered has a button where you can just swap between remastered graphics and the old graphics. So you
I
can
love
have,
that feature in remasters.
I know it's so good. So you could have your triangle or slightly rounded.
So you can switch it to remastered graphics, fire one off, and then go back to triangle titties so you can play.
What do you mean? You're firing one off on the triangles, man.
Oh yeah, I got that backwards.
Yeah, I want them to impale me while I'm doing impaling.
Good God, you guys.
I'm a little tired.
That has brought me back to my youth, where, so like intellectually, I understood that Lara Croft was a hot character, but I didn't play any of the games, so I didn't have an emotional connection. And in all, like a lot of my friends were like, "Oh, Lara Croft, dude!
Yeah.
Lara Croft, dude!" I was like, sure. I mean, I like her like round song, like she looks like she has cool style, but PS1 polygonal characters never made me feel things in that particular way. And then the movie with Angelina Jolie came out, and me as like a teenager, I was just like, I understand.
No fakes though. I've jerked off to Mario and Pikachu, so it doesn't really matter.
Mud has set a bar.
Vaporeon in terms of.
We're going to a dark place, fellas.
You're
A
you're
dark
telling-
place.
You're telling me that these pointy pointy bastards don't get something else pointy.
I
Look
feel
at
like
that hip to waist ratio.
I feel like there's a Kerrigan joke in there somewhere.
Listen, Pixar took notes and applied those notes.
Oh, it's true, man. Pixar moms.
I think
Pixar giving an entire generation a lust for the dumpy.
I remember a comment saying that the Resident Evil village, Lady Dimitrescu's ass has more polygons than the entirety of Tomb Raider.
That's probably true.
It is. Her ass alone has more polygons than a game like 20, 30 years old.
Good for her, honestly. Ah, boy. Yeah, but it's been fun, though.
Yeah, there's a lot more secrets than I remember getting as a kid. Because I'm actually exploring the game and realizing I can control the character and jump into places I didn't know existed.
And that mature big brain.
I know. It makes me feel smart.
If any
Like
game
his-
ever made me feel that way, it was Morrowind. Sorry, man.
Morrowind. That's on my to-do list, that Morrowind. I had it as a kid, couldn't understand it. Mostly because I was an idiot.
Exactly. I would just run around, kill guards, rob all the places, then have no idea what to do, and then give up until I wanted to start a new character like 4 weeks later.
And then... Sorry?
No, go ahead.
Oh, no, it's a friend of mine has been, like, upselling it, and she really likes Morrowind. And she's like... And I'm like... And she starts talking about, like, Dagoth and I have no idea who Dagoth is. I have now, like, a basic education on Dagoth after talking with her, with my friend. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to meet this psycho vampire dude, I guess. He seems kind of neat.
Dagoth I barely know her.
And then she sent me some, like, Dagoth synthwave nonsense. Like, he looks like a silly guy.
It's always fun revisiting games from your childhood and realizing, like, adult brain versus, like, child brain. It's just like, I got stuck on this level for that many years.
Yeah.
I've had that issue with, like, Crash Bandicoot and Donkey Kong.
That's
Speaking
fair.
of, there was loot from those bad guys.
Oh.
The Bone Knight did drop a +1 greatsword.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
that's
any of us are
super useful to
proficient
this
with it.
party.
Technically I am, but I don't have the strength to back it up, though.
As well as a large key.
Large key. Where there's a key, there's a hole. Someone bend over.
What are we playing? Elden Ring?
Still need to finish that DLC.
Try finger. But yeah, like I didn't want to like declare a game was ended without making it clear. He did drop a key. It does look fairly important. It's large and blocky.
Just like
It looks like it's made out of cast iron. Obviously, you're not sure which. Yeah, you can call it a cast iron key in your inventory. And yeah, Cat's right. If there's a key, there's a hole. Great
What about his
chest to have.
armor?
His armor, yeah, you want to get kind of gross with it. So you can't take his armor because it is partly like riveted to his body. And like partially attached through his bones. Like you try to get it off and you inspect, and it's like part of the armor is like going through his flesh, and the bones kind of like growing and jutting out of his armor. Might have grown out of him.
Mm.
You're not entirely sure, but it is keeping his armor solidly in place. Unless, of course, you wanna spend a couple of hours and get some sharp knives and get to chopping. Smith's tools, Grunt. You want to try and get it off?
Yeah, Grunt, get it. We'll just weld it to one of the bobs. Have them in plate armor.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can even wear plate, can they? Like, not even in our main party.
Hargrim can,
Yeah, Hargrim can now because he's a fighter.
but it's heavy, so that would
Wait.
mess up with his rage.
Did Theo
Theo
take
fight
fighter?
it. Yeah.
Yes.
I think you can wear.
Yeah.
You can either wear
I can wear medium armor.
heavy. Oh, you can wear medium.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
it just bumps it up by one.
right. The strength requirement too. Although you actually have a strength.
What do you think it was there for?
I think
R.I.P. Arcane spell failure.
when the magic doesn't work, you still have your fists.
That is true. Muscle Wizard is the only real build
Yes.
there is. Clearly.
Listen, no matter what, you will always have somatic components, whether you're using magic or non-magic weapons.
I cast these hands.
Multi-attack left, right. Don't ask where the third comes from.
The monk just raises an eyebrow. A kick? The bard puts a hand on his shoulder and shakes his head solemnly. Obviously, it's Jax
said-
laying down the messages saying "Great chest ahead," like right in front of Shino's room. Sorry, Mud.
I was gonna say the monk said dick, right?
I don't know if my mic picked it up, but I was laughing.
If they're one of their wisdom-based monks, so they got the joke.
Great chest ahead in front of Shino's door. Would you like to join my covenant?
What's your covenant called, Shino?
The thick thighs. I heard they save lives.
A chaotic good group then.
All my characters are chaotic good, except for Tabane. She's the outlier.
Dominate's great. All these characters are great. That is a good band of weirdos in both Party A and Party B.
The real challenge for me is to not make a elven or feline character that's chaotic good. When I do that, I'll break out of my own stigma.
Obviously, you need some comfort zone, so play a rogue. And like Just embrace a part of your inner nature and play a hot goblin with a big dumpy.
That means charisma. I don't want to have a double digits of charisma. Although all the fun classes are charisma based.
You don't need. You just be a rogue. And physical hotness has nothing to do with charisma.
You're right. I'm just coming from second ed where it actually does.
Well, second ed was weird.
Isn't there a charisma-based rogue? Or so
There's
the swashbuckler? Or
Yes. Swashbuckler has skills that scales with charisma.
yes, it does.
And you can definitely build. You can definitely build charisma-based rogues that are very good. But Swashbuckler utilizes them. Man, Swashbuckler, it's not quite as bad as Peace Cleric, but that is a subclass that is real good
It's good.
I mean,
for eyebrow-raising reasons.
if you want a good charisma-based rogue, i.e., Glade, a rogue, a charlatan rogue, inquisitive charlatan rogue, because that's you get proficiencies, additional proficiencies in persuasion, performance, and deception.
but it only works if your strength score is 18.
I mean,
That'd be a big surprise.
That's probably my next challenge: is make a character that's actually based off strength. So I don't think I've played a character that's had higher than a 16 strength, and I've played a barbarian.
Yeah, but you played a rogue barbarian, which is cheating.
Yeah.
And 16 is pretty high in the grand scheme of things.
I know, but I feel like 16's like at a minimum for your key stat that you should have. Like, no matter what class you are, if it's your key stat, I feel like 16 is a minimum. You should
Oh, not necessarily, but I do hear you.
I know the
Conventional
minimum.
wisdom does suggest trying to get that as high as possible.
Yeah.
Your key
And I know the
stats.
actual minimum is 13 because of multi-classing, or at least in 5th ed it's 13, so you can multi-class.
Yeah, So like as like a sorry.
I was gonna say, I think from what I saw, you don't actually have to have a base score for your main class. It's the multi-classing. So if you wanted your main class to be a freaking 8 charisma bard, you could. It's the multi-classing that requires the minimum scores.
No,
It's true.
I thought there was wording saying you have to have 13 to multi-class in and out. So if you're multi-classing out of bard into something else, you have to have the requirements.
How can you multi-class?
Well, you have to have it. I mean, it's based on whoever's the table rules, but there are
That's fair.
people who, or there are rules that say if you're gonna to multi-class into a specific class, you have to have the prerequisite 13 ability score for whatever the major attribute for that class. So if you want to multi-class into like a fighter or a barbarian or something like that, you have to have a strength or dexterity of at least 13. The same thing with rogue, at least a 13 in dexterity. But those rules aren't, at least from my knowledge, aren't necessarily applied regularly because it's no fun.
I mean, multi-class in and of itself is considered an optional rule
Yeah.
because if wizards had their way, you wouldn't be multi-classing at all. Like they really don't want you to multi-class.
Yeah.
Which
means any type of ability score requirement all falls under the multi-classing then, right? Because if you're multi-classing in and out, then you're required the score. If there were no multi-classing, then you wouldn't have an enforceable minimum score for any class, right?
Yeah.
Correct. And even then, like, I think that's kind of stupid. Like, to use Barbarian as an example, I don't get why. Like, it's not like from a meta perspective, it's not wise to multi-class into Barbarian if you have a low strength score, right? But it's not. I don't see how it's like necessary to be physically strong when the bit is that you get really angry. I feel like
Yeah.
anybody could do that or like find that place,
Or even
right?
like you have unarmored defense, which scales off con and dex. So if you really want to lean into the I'm not wearing armored bit, then you have like con, dex, and strength are your main three things, and strength and dex kind of overlap each other.
Uh
That's what I felt most
huh.
when I was playing Rokari. It's just like I don't want my strength this high, but I need it this high because I'm a barbarian. But at the same time, I have nothing, so I want unarmored defense, so I need a higher dex. Or con, I guess, but I already had a max con.
And philosophically speaking, Dungeons and Dragons and any TTRPG are all games by the nature of their medium, games about choice, right?
Yeah.
The rules are there for a reason, and the rules, whatever is accepted at your table, and ideally rules as written, should also inform the story and inform the tone, right? There should be a ludonarrative resonance between the power of player choice and the choices that the players are given within the rules, right? So something like multi-classing, like having strict requirements for multi-classing, especially for more abstract concepts like barbarian needing strength, strikes me as kind of silly because I personally know people with like severe anger issues who are not very physically imposing, um, but can get really scary when they lose their shit. And on a similar note, right? I've known people who are not very book smart, good people, not very book smart, who make an earnest attempt to go back to college to educate themselves, right? So if you have a character with a like 8, 9, 10, 11 intelligence and you want to multi-class into wizard, for example, right? I don't feel like you should need a base intelligence modifier because that's already like an abstract concept in comparison to your character's decision that they want to try and learn magic, right? They might not be good at it, but that's, that's the character's choice, right? And that can apply to builds. Like cantrips are a thing. Like you can make solid cantrips.
There are a lot of spells that don't
Um,
require any of the saves or any of the attack
Yeah.
rolls. Shields,
Yeah.
an example that's good for anybody.
Yeah.
exactly. And like in theory, as a wizard, you might not have a lot of spells. There are spells that you might be locked out of. Like I do kind of agree with a ruling where it might be in Pathfinder. I know it was in 3.5. I can't remember off the top of my head because it's getting late about 5e. But so correct me if it's still in place for 5e. But there used to be a thing for spellcasters where your second number in your primary spellcasting attribute determined what your spell level cap was. So in order to get to 9th level spells as a wizard, you would need a 19 intelligence, and that makes sense to me, right? If you're a wizard with a 14 intelligence, then you might have to stop at 14th level because you don't have the mental cognizance to understand the more complex arcana, right? And then when you get to a level where you can increase your intelligence, you're like, oh, I get it now, right? Like that's a breakthrough for your character. And it's also like a decent way to, you know, if you're gonna be a wizard who's gonna learn something fucking insane like Wish or True Wish or whatever, right? Your character now has attributes that tell the story that they are competent enough and talented enough to cast those most powerful spells in the game. I don't play with that rule with 5e because it's kind of a pain in the ass, and also most everyone just focuses on like, well, if I'm going to play a wizard, I'm going for that 20 intelligence.
Yeah.
It's fair, right? So then like it's usually a non-issue and not worth mentioning, but
It's a cool concept, though.
yeah.
You'd have to do something early game saying, like, half your score or something, because it's not that hard to get an 18 at, like, level 4.
No, it's not. Okay. Thanks for playing. To make it official, since people are going to start rolling out, and it is about that time. Thanks for playing, guys. Next time we play, if we're still like down a player, we'll continue on with this. If we have a full house, we will continue with Party A. I don't want to stay away from them too long, and we're at a good point for our hirelings to just be chill. I hope you guys are enjoying this dungeon. I hope the Eberron files are excited for what the clues peppered in so far might be hinting towards.
No clue.
And I appreciate you guys a lot. I don't mind sticking around and still shooting the shit if people still want to talk about stuff, but you know, just to make it official, be free, get lots of well-deserved rest. Like you guys a lot, and I hope you have a good night and a good long weekend.
Right.
Good night, everyone.